We're continuing our series, where we talk about Python certification. In this episode, we are continuing from our prior episode. If you remember, we were working on, pardon me while I adjust my mic just a little bit. There we go, maybe. Okay, sorry. 3, 2, 1. And so last time we talked about strings, string functions, and we just got, not really started, we got a pretty good way into them, but now we are going to continue, and we are going to start with the sort command. So the first thing we do with this one is because we've got so many in this example, if you sort of see, we've got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to jump to the end here, and actually let me just do this. Just to help us with our eyeballs as we go through this. We'll do something like that. And so we've got a new list we're going to work with, because this is going to be needed for some of the items we're going to work on here. So our example now is going to be red, green, blue, white, black. So it's just a bunch of strings. They just happen to be color names. So first thing we're going to do is sort. And a very simple sort. Did I say that? And so when we come down here and we sort, here's the original list. And now we can see that we sort it. Now it sorts, the items are black, blue, green, red, white. And so it is alphabetically sorting everything. BLA comes before BLU. And so sort, there are a few features we can do a sort that we're not really going to mess with too much, just because. I don't think you're going to see them, but essentially you can do some sort based on a couple things that, the one we will show, basically you can do a custom sort. Before I jump into that, let me do, where's that list? I'm going to do, so as an example for sort, this is going to be for reverse, which as you will see is somewhat similar. And it's important to note that the sort and reverse actually impact the list itself. The output for these is nothing, but it does change the list itself. So now if we look at list reverse, I'll do it this way first. So if you look at list reverse, it's easiest here because we can say, here's what it was after we sorted it alphabetically. And now, if you look, it went white, red, green, blue, black, exactly the reverse of what it did. So all reverse does is it swaps the items, or it reverses the order. So that one's pretty easy. Now sort, get a little more advanced example because you probably will come across it. In this situation, what I do is I go in and I'm just going to create this little function. All it does is you give it a value and it's going to return the length of the value. And then let's see, I can come down here and let me, where did it go? Let me go back to, let's just do this, just so I can save the state of it. And then right before I get into that, I'm going to say examples equals example 2, which is basically so I can just reset to this top setting. And now what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to sort, but I'm going to give it a key. And that key is this length function that I defined. So what it's going to do is it's going to call this function for every item, and it's going to return the length. So now we're going to see when we sort based on that key, and it should be fairly obvious, that we see that now it sorts the items of length 3, length 4, length 5. And it just goes through and it just sorts them that way. So there are ways that you can do custom sorts, that you can do some custom adjustments to these things, and get something actually fairly complicated. Particularly, you would use this if you're doing, so it's not like a simple list like a string or numbers, but maybe if you were had a list of objects, or classes, or I guess it'd be objects that you were working with. And they may have their own, essentially from another language, you may hear about it as a comparator of some sort that says, maybe I'm sorting by ID values or some calculated number, something like that. So sort can get pretty cool. Sorted is, let's just go here. And let's do this and this. So sorted is actually a little bit different approach if we wanted to do. So here, example.sort gives us, does not return anything, but it does change the array itself. And so let's see, so here, so I did that. Let's go back and reset. And so if we do, let's do this. So let's do, first we're going to do the sorted example, and then we're just going to print example. And if you look at that, now you're going to see here, let me put something here to make this a little easier. Let's do it this way. We'll do sorted list. So initially, when we do it, if we send it sorted, see, so if we actually kick out the output of sorted, then it is now that sorted list, much as we saw up here. But if we actually grab the list, it goes back to what we originally, what our example is here. So it's not the same anymore, which we did sort that at some point, apparently. What did we do to example 2? Well, somewhere I got that sorted anyways. So now you see it's not actually, I'm not sure how I messed this one up, but well, let's see. So it got in a weird little state. So let's just do this. Just to be safe. There we go. Let's move that up. So I think I messed it up. There we go. Okay. Somewhere I must have screwed up my example 2 somewhere. All right. So sorted actually gives you back a sorted list. Sort sorts the list itself. So it's sort of important to know, particularly as you're playing around with things there. Let's do extend. So extend, we had an example way back here. Here we go. If you remember when we did append, what it did is if we added, let's do this. Let's grab that one again. So I'm going to do these. So this is going to be for our append. Whoop. Back here. Make this append. I'm sorry, extend. Plus I didn't even type that right. So I do extend. I'm going to look at these two. So if I did colors that append, and then I want to print colors. So first I want to do append, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to reset it, and I'm going to do extend. And this should be the easiest way to see the difference in these two. So if you see here, this first one, where I do the extend, when I do the append, it takes that array and just puts it adds an object, which is the array. It adds that to the end. But when I do extend, it assumes there's going to be a list of items, and it just builds it into the array. So you can see where the brackets start to identify that this is an item within our array. And over here, there is not, that it takes all of those individual items and extends them in. This effectively is your way to concatenate a pair of like, lists or arrays or things like that. Is that you can just come in and start doing them from an extend, and it will paste those two together for you essentially. So next thing I want to do is length. So let's just keep it simple. If I do the length of, I do colors dot when, nope, It's the length of colors. 1, 2, 3. You were going to see that. That last thing is it's going to give us a length. I think we've done this before. We may not have. But basically it's going to count here. So we've got red, green, blue, white, black. If we had this guy instead, we can probably do that. So if we do example, and actually let's make sure I didn't screw that up somewhere. So let's come down here and do example. Oop. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, there we go. There's our 8. That's pretty straightforward. And then one of the last ones I want to do is sort of go back, because I think we covered in and not in. But we can do if, let's do if red in colors. I'm just going to do print. It's in there. And actually, let's pick. Let's do that. And let's do if purple not in colors, it's not in there. And so this is just a simple logic. And we'll see it's in there, it's not in there. So here we can actually look for red. Now if we change it to, let's say, just an E, then you're going to find that it's not in there. Well, it's in there, doesn't show up. It's looking for this exact item. So in and not in are going to be based on the items within the array. So it's going to see if we can find them. Now, if we were to do, well, for example, red's in there twice, but note it doesn't care. It's just it either is or it is not. Now, last thing I wanted to do was one other that's a string. So if I do, let's do my string, because I sort of missed this earlier and want to make sure I swing back around to it. So if my string equals lazy dog jumps over log, and I want to do a find. So this is a find example. Where am I going to put that somewhere? There we go. So I'm going to do find, and I'm going to do rfind. And so if I do print, whoop, and let's do my string dot, oops, find, and let me find something. Let's see, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. So let's do O. And so between find and rfind, it's going to be looking for O within here. Let's see what it finds. It does 6. And it, oops, that's not an rfind. And it does, there we go, 6 and 21. And so, oh, good. And here's a good example because we do have 3 O's in here. So if you find 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so find, and that's what happens, gives you the first occurrence. So if you want to do, sometimes you see this as like a POS or position or something like that function. The rfind actually starts at the end and finds the last occurrence, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, which is what we got. So we get our 21 down there. And it skips over this one. Find gets the first one, rfind gets you the last one. And I think I'm going to wrap that up for this time around because I did throw those strings in, and actually I think I'm going to probably move these because I was just, as I was looking through this, I did swing back around. So I'm going to throw those in find, throw that in here. And that'll work. So that'll be updated in the code repository. And that covers, really covers a lot of what we've got in the world of arrays. I would go back through these a little bit and just play around with them so you have an understanding of what they are. In particular, the things that deal with indexes of some sort that tell you, like index and find, or but index and length and those kinds of things, just to see what's there. You may want to look into I don't think you need anything complicated in the sorted like I did, probably just to know that you can do a key. You may want to play around with that just from feeling comfortable when we get to that certification point. And that'll do it for this one. I don't think we need to go very further in it. We'll get a good break here in topics, so we'll switch over to something else next time around. But until then, go out there, have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time.